Hello everybody, my name's Jean, so good morning everybody. Last week you heard about little David beating big Goliath. If you remember, that young boy grew up to be a wise and good king, and when he died his son Solomon became king, but it wasn't an easy job. Before we open the book, let's do our wrap. Let's open the book. Let's take a look. Let's listen and see how good God can be. Oh, let's take a look. Let's open the book. Let's listen and see how good God can be. Let's open the book. The story today is called The Wise King. When David died, his son Solomon became Israel's new king. And what do you think was the very first thing he did? Pass some new law? No. Send his army to fight some new enemy? Not likely. Order himself a fancy new crown? Never. No, the first thing he did was to kneel down before God and pray. Good for you, God said to Solomon. Now what would you like me to give you? Solomon could have prayed for anything at all. But what do you think he asked for? A long life? No. Victory in battle? Not likely. Loads of money? Never. No, the only thing he asked for was wisdom. It's going to be hard ruling over all these people, he prayed, and I want to do the best job that I can. So please help me, God. Give me wisdom to make the right choices and do the right things. Well, God was so pleased with Solomon's choice that he promised to give him wisdom and all the other things as well. It wasn't long before Solomon's choice that he promised to give him wisdom and all the other things was put to the test. Two women came to see him one day, and one of them was holding a baby, and the other one was really unhappy. That woman stole my baby, she cried. Her baby died, so while I was sleeping, she came and took mine. That's a lie, shouted the woman with the baby, and she held the child even more tightly. Solomon looked at the women, and Solomon looked at the poor baby. And what do you think he did? Give the baby to the first woman? No. Give the baby to the second woman? Not likely. Keep it for himself? Never. No, he called one of his soldiers and told him to raise his sword above the child. Now cut the baby in half, Solomon ordered, and each of the women can have a piece. The soldier was so shocked. He looked at the king and he looked at the poor baby, but before he could use his sword, the woman who claimed her child had been stolen cried, "Stop, stop! Let her have the child. He's my baby, but I'd rather see him raised by another than have him cut in two." "Oh no," said the woman holding the baby. "The king is right. Cut the baby in half." It was exactly what Solomon had hoped for. "Now," he said, "I can see who the real mother is," he said. "She would rather give up her child than see it harmed." And he took the baby from one woman and gave it to the other. And what do you think God's people did? They clapped and they cheered, and they clapped and they cheered, and they thanked God for giving them a king who was both wise and good. That's the end of the story. But it was a bit of a scary story, especially when you were thinking about the possibility of a baby being cut in two. So because Solomon wanted to be a good king, he was right to ask God to help him, wasn't he? He knew it would be a difficult job and he couldn't do it properly without God's help. It's very hard to be wise like Solomon, especially when there are difficult jobs to do. Close your eyes and think about the people who need to be wise. Could be the world leaders, the politicians, teachers even, parents and carers. Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, help us to follow Solomon's example and to ask you for wisdom whenever we have difficult jobs to do. Help us to make the right decisions. Amen. So bye now for everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.